World Network. Dr. Ruth Anderson and Teri Angel here for a meditation a day. Today we are going to be doing a silent meditation. So we're going to go behind scenes, play you some pretty music, and we invite you to meditate right along with us. And we'll come back on once we've received a message from Spirit and share that message with you. It typically seems to take about 30 or 40 minutes these days, so just hang in there. We'll come right back. Teri, thanks for being here today.
Hey, Ruth. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to turn the music on.
Friends, we'll see you soon. Have a good meditation. Can you hear me, Teri?
I do. I was just turning my volume up.
What an interesting meditation. That was fascinating. Terry and I went the other day to a rock store that was in a gentleman's basement. His name is Jack. And I've never seen so many stones in such a small space. It was amazing. And Terry immediately felt the energy off of all of these stones. And I did not, but I've really never been one to be able to feel the energy off of stones. And we spent several hours with Jack and bought a couple of things. And so apparently we were to work on that about the crystals and the stones and all of that today. Because when we went into meditation, Divine Mother was walking with us outside and she's pointing to different stones and talking about different stones. And she said, some are used for healing, some are used for summoning beings. She said all of that is source energy. Um, it exists elsewhere as well, but it's concentrated in the stones. And Terry, you heard the word infused. Do you want to talk about that infusing?
Yeah. So I've been in this habit of drinking lemon water in the mornings. It just feels good, and my body feels good doing so. But it changes the water. It changes the taste, but also it has this energy about it. And so that's what my vision was, that there was a power, which I call God, that infuses all of the stones, really all of creation, with source energy. And so what I heard was that those stones were infused with source energy. So, Ruth, you ask who is doing that infusion. Like when I physically place the lemon in the water, I'm doing the infusion of it. And you heard, and we both heard, that the earth angels are working diligently on the earth and infusing creation, especially the stones. And I'm also hearing plants because we talked about the plants and their energy that we get from them. But it's important that we understand that even though God can use an angel, a person, whatever, that all the glory goes to God, the source that it came from. So I thought that was an interesting aspect of looking at the energy that's contained in those creations, rocks, stones, flowers, whatever it might be, even people.
Yeah, Divine Mother said, be wary, don't forget that it is source energy. She said,
Good.
don't give the rock the power, the praise, instead of source itself. She said, this is just a container. She said, a cup of Kool-Aid is not all of the Kool-Aid in the world, it's just a cup. And I asked, why haven't I been able to feel the energies in the stones before? Because I was able to feel it in a couple of them, but really not very many. She said, because you weren't meant to. She said, you feel it in the flowers. She said, if a person could feel it in everything, they would be absolutely overwhelmed. So some folks can feel it in some things, some folks in other things, and be okay with that. You don't need to be wanting what your sister can do. Be satisfied with what you can do because none of us can do all of it. It would just be too much.
Yeah, we would be just lifting off and not being on the 3D anymore. Yeah, and I think it's important to state that all of us have the ability to feel that energy or to hear a message. There's none that's higher than or more adapted, well adapted to being able to sense or feel or see. We all have the same gifts, spiritual gifts. They're our birthright. But some of us focus on being able to hear and feel. where others might just want to experience being and being loved and feeling the warmth. And that's okay. There's no judgment if you're feeling energy or not feeling it.
Yeah, it's all perfect for who we are,
Right.
right? What we're experiencing. Then I heard the word talisman a couple of times. And she said, people wanting the energy of things to become part of them. I mean, some folks that can feel energy in crystals or whatever and wanting so badly for that to come from them. She said, it can never be. She said, do not make things idols. Then they're a replacement for source and God's love. She said, this is not about material things holding energy or power. She said, don't go down that route because then you go down the wrong track. She said, it's misplaced intentions. And this part was actually kind of cute. She said, it's like you want a pepperoni pizza, but you order a pineapple one instead. And you're going to be disappointed.
Mhm.
Teri, do you want to talk about the importance of being in alignment with what you're wanting?
Yeah. So if you really, your heart's desire is to have something, whether it's an experience or something material or amount of abundance or whatever it is, but you're only asking for a dime, right? You're only asking for a little bit of that experience. You're still going to have that desire inside of you that's unfulfilled. So, the same thing, using that pizza example, if I really, really wanted the pepperoni and I can taste it, I can feel it, I know what it's like, but no, I'm going to deny myself that because of whatever reason. And I'm just going to order something benign like pineapple instead. I'm still going to have that desire. I'm still going to feel there's something that I'm reaching for, something that I want to have in my experience. So to me, it's like just ask. We live in an abundant universe. We have everything that we need to survive and more. So why not ask for the pepperoni? Why not get exactly what you want? Because whatever you order up, that's what's going to come, right? And I talk about this all the time, Ruth, that so many of us want joy in our lives. We want the fun, we want the peace and the contentment, but we're putting out those negative thoughts and negative words. And we're talking about, how miserable we are. So that's the order. That's what we're putting out there. I want more of that, please. And we get it. So why not put out the energy of joy, the energy of love, and order that up off the menu? Can I have more of that? Can I live a life that's full of adventure and fun and have what I am desiring to have? So it's a huge lesson that they taught us today. In be, it's really be careful what you're thinking and pay attention to those thoughts. Pay attention to your words, because many times we talk and talk, but we don't hear that we're being a little negative, and that negative is going to flow right back to us. So stay in the flow and the energy of what you do want, not what you don't want. That's the message.
And then Divine Mother continued on with the stones. And the song from Jesus Christ Superstar came into my head, where they say the rocks and stones will start to sing. And it's Hosanna, Hosanna. It's a song of praise. And what she showed us was that at that time, because this was that on Palm Sunday, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She said the air was filled with source energy. If you can put yourself, and I've got goosebumps, if you can put yourself in that place, even in the musical, if that's what helps you, where everybody's singing Hosanna, and the air was just full of high vibrational source energy. And she said the source energy in the stones reacted in kind and began singing. And then we saw that source energy in the plants, right? Source energy in the mountains. I mean, it's throughout creation. And then Teri, you channeled brilliant words. Worship not what was created, but worship along with what was created.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Do you want to talk about what you said about precious stones?
Yeah, we think of some stones as really precious stones. I mean, think about diamonds and rubies and all of the ones that we humans have ascribed that they are higher than the other stones, and we call them precious stones. But what makes them precious is the creator, not the creation. And so we're to worship the one that infused that energy into them, that we look at and we think that they're so precious. And I had found a verse, and it's actually from the Old Testament. And I'd like to read that because I think it just really brings it to light. It says, "But ask the beast, and they will tell you, the birds of the heavens, and they will tell you, or the bushes of the earth, and they will teach you, and the fish of the sea will declare to you. Who among all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind." So everything has energy and everything was created by the same source. So we worship with all of those things, the precious stones, the ones that are just stones, flowers. You know, sometimes we think, oh, those beautiful lilies that you have in your yard, Ruth, that I admire every time I drive up to your house. They just glow with this beautiful energy. But then there's also the daisy, which is a very simple flower, not elegant, not flourishing its beauty, but to me, it has just as much beauty as those lilies. So, what are we ascribing the power to? What are we looking at and saying, oh, you are so beautiful, instead of seeing that beauty in everything, because everything was created the same. Everything was infused with the same source energy. So it's looking at, and not just stones and flowers and rocks, but people as well. And we do that with people, don't we? We ascribe that some are higher, so we put them up on a pedestal. You know, those are the precious stones. And really, we're all the same. We're all the same. Those that we see as maybe of a higher vibration are ones that understand where their power comes from, which is source God energy. Yeah, big lesson.
Huge lesson, not putting anything up as an idol, thing or person. Yeah. Just recognize the source energy in everything. And as you said, celebrate along with it, worship along with it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, Divine Mother, thank you. What a beautiful lesson today.
Yeah, it really was. And it was interesting that it started out with the experience that we just had. And then she used that to really teach us something so valuable in life. Thoughts become things, and pay attention to that.
Yeah, so cool. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here. You know, we are always learning something new here at Enlightened World Network. We never know what the message is going to be, but it's always timely and it's always perfect. So thanks for being here for it. So take good care.